The part of the Masquerade, Raccoon of New York. New game. So we could choose the character Kelly. Roughness. My Sarah's gone owl, and I've got no clue why. It sucks. But hey, I'm a raven. When things get dicey, I go with my gut. And right now, it's telling me to just keep searching. It hasn't let me down so far, and it won't start now, right? Right. Animalism allows kindred to communicate with control or feed more efficient animals. Those are points. Obfuscate allows kindred to hide easily or without being noticed and divert the eyes of observers. Presence is the kindred ability to influence emotions in others, to attract or to terrify. Okay, animalism. Presence. Submit. Difficulty, hunger. Struggle against your inner beast by the risk management to disciplines. Hunter friend. The hunters are watching your every move. Play it safe or risk getting ambushed on detours. Night 1, the beginning. Right. Woo. Vampire the Masquerade, Raccoon of New York. December 2024, 7 nights till New Year. Brooklyn, D'Angelo's Bureau, if you can even call it that, feels more like a rough draft of an asteroid belt. Suggesting it's a shabby almost gives it too much credit, as if there's some hidden allure to the mess, which there definitely isn't. His head is cocked. Thoughtfully, beady eyes piercing me right through. Does this acute interest stem from the matter I brought in, or does he simply enjoy watching me wriggling in this wretched chair? I'd ask, but underneath the repulsive mask of his face, I notice something that looks a lot like fear, a detail I pocket for later. A strong synthetic odor taints the still air. The world is moving forward, but this crap reeks worse than your average smoke, and the way he squashes those mini cigs in the ashtray is clear D'Angelo's struggling to shake off old habits. Not that I'm one to throw stones, but he's quite the character, useful but infuriating too at times. Like right now, for example. And there we go, D'Angelo. Let me just get this straight. You lost your sire, eh? Come on. I didn't lose him, you goof. He just never turned up to a meeting. Easy, Tiger, just trying to get the situation clear here. What's unclear about it? I went to a meeting spot and he wasn't there. That never happened. Reynard Castle has a knack for vanishing, though. Maybe he had to make himself scarce? Skip town? He'd have left me a clue for sure. You're still relying on those wall tags? The herbal code or whatnot? Little Chandler, he has totally been killing it lately. I mean, I might have casually mentioned the code once or twice, but nothing major. Well, alright, maybe I showed him a symbol. One that's pretty much useless on its own. Say, if Reynard catches a wind of me spilling the beans, he's gonna flip. He's like Fort Knox when it comes to our secrets. We do, and I found absolutely zilch, which doesn't happen, by the way. We never bail on each other when we split up for stuff like this. It's just too dangerous. D'Angelo said, maybe he didn't have a chance to leave a trail. Maybe he's supposed to rendezvous. He doesn't need to know. The usual sketch alley we always hit up. Don't worry, pretty face, about the details. Well, the secrecy, you think I'm gonna snitch to the undead cops? Look, I'm just trying to do this investigation, right? And yeah, I know your spot. Coney Island, right? Then what was the point of asking in the first place? Narrative reasons. Maybe dropping by the angel wasn't such a great plan, or maybe he's not as useless as I assumed. But he's definitely got me on edge. I shoot him a skeptical glance, but he appears to be elsewhere, lost in his own thoughts. His lips move silently, almost like he's whispering a prayer. Just ignore that. I catch myself getting exasperated. I look at the angel for a while, sadly willing him to say something worth listening to. So you made your way to Coney Island, but came up empty-handed. No castle, no trail to follow. Anything noteworthy at all? Just a typical shady asshole loitering around, clear up to something pretty standard for New York City as far as I'm aware. Shady assholes? Who kindred? Regular folks, I think, old, wishy and restless. He furrows his brow, nodding slowly, but seems more in mourning than deep in thought. When he finally speaks, it's not at all what I was expecting to hear. To be frank, Kelly, I'm running short on answers. You, Sarah, seem just temporarily unavailable, or gone for good, or something else. Can't say I'm entirely shocked. He tries to stroll around nonchalantly, but the mess in his bureau just as nonchalantly throws him out balance. It completely ruins but noir vibe, so I shoot him a cheeky grin, but he's too caught up to even notice. Breaking character must have rattled him good. If I were you, I'd take a leaf out of his book and disappear pronto. In fact, that's exactly what I intend to do once I'm through with my business in the city. And pocket the fear I observed a moment ago, and give D'Angelo another good, lasting look. He's genuinely terrified, like seriously scared. But there's this hint of desperation too. I've got to tame my inner con artist. She's practically salivating in my head, just waiting to join in. But when things go south, D'Angelo's the body you stick with, not somebody you dish and forget. Gianni, seriously, what's up? I'm kind of freaking out here. There are too many loose ends to stitch together a complete tale, and frankly, it's too lengthy for just one night anyway. But there's a storm gathering in the city. I've been through some rough patches, but this feels like a whole different kind of trouble. Cut the cryptic shit out just for once. He looks over my shoulder, lost in thought, like he's figuring out how to drop an anchor on someone who's already drowning. Our Khan has been dropping like flies lately. Nobody seems to be a specific target, but it's hitting mostly Duskborn. The Core dubs it. The culling on thin bloods. Real knee slapper they got. Those sons of guns. But there's been other victims too, and she runs down my dead spine. Well, there's a journal. Glossary. Logbook. Here's the sad reality. New York has never been as dangerous for kindred as in these nights. What for? I get there's no love lost for Duskborn, but what's the reason for this? If only I had the scoop. Could be a third thing. Could be wrapped up in an eternal struggle, or you know what, I'll fill you in while we hit the road. The urge to flee slams into me like a freight train. There's something about his tone that almost convinces me to hightail it out of the city, but it's not quite time to make a break for it. I might stick around for a while, so D'Angelo visibly concerned. Should I be worried too? You're really not gonna let him go, huh? 'Cause not. I'll find Reynard come hell or high water. Besides, someone has to handle detective duties since, judging by how desperately you want me to drive you out of town, damsel in distress is already taken. D'Angelo tilts his head downward just enough to fix his crooked smile, a smile abandoned by joy long ago. I know you well enough to not even bother trying to change your mind, but you have the knack for driving head first into trouble, so hear me out. Keep your head down, stay off the radar, don't feed willy-nilly, and above all, don't reveal your true nature unless you're 100% sure nobody can see you. So the Masquerade, basically. I'm not joking, Kelly. Keep low or else... Yeah, thanks for the tip. I raised my feet and waved a goodbye as I heard out the door. I'll grab you once I found Reynard on my own, since you've been such a big help. Well, Brooklyn game saved. Whoa. It takes me a while to actually notice the air around me crisp and clear without the ever-present stench of D'Angelo nicotine habit. I find it's taking me longer each time to catch on. When will I reach the point where I don't notice it anymore? Reynard's silence and a total lack of hints about his whereabouts bug me way more than I'm ready to say it out loud. The streets are deserted. It's like everyone vanished, scared of by winter and chill that mortals seem to hate. The darkness of the night, lit up by bursts of color, it's kinda beautiful in a bleak, urban way. But my sire is gone, and I don't know what to do. Back at D'Angelo's, I was all talk, swearing that I'd track down Reynard myself on a burn-up train. Pretty sure he saw right through my BS. Where half as confident I pretended I wouldn't feel so utterly lost. In late December, in a big fucking dangerous apple of all places. If D'Angelo's warnings have any weight, maybe it's time to book up our supplies. Our coterie, let's just say we are big on being ready for anything. Reynard's the mastermind behind all our safety nets, making sure we don't even rush close to failure. His obsessive preparedness has pulled us out of the fire more than once. Wherever we are running our gigs, we've got to these spots stocked up with goods, and let's call it personal protection. One of those hidden caches lies just around the block, if I remember right. It's been ages, but that's probably the first place I should hit up before I go hunting for Reynard. Better safe than in the grave, right? And whoa, New York, first night. So Square One, Coney Island, main quest. Like we could move. Precaution emergency door. Square One, the RV. There is Brooklyn, like, here I am. Survival is a game we'll play. Also, Reynard always preached to our gang. That's why we start supplies, caches all over. If the answers were in cold water, grabbing some supplies might actually come in handy. Square One, Coney Island. The rundown parking lot where I stashed my RV seemed deserted enough to keep away prying eyes. I should head back to Coney Island and see if Reynard showed up while I was away. Maybe he left one of our signature wall signs, cluing me in what I do next. Let's do Coney Island. Square One, Coney Island. There we go. Coney Island, Square One, Night 1. You'd think the subway at 3 AM on Christmas night would be a tranquil heaven, right? Nope, think again. It's not exactly a morning rush, but there's still a bunch of people around, most of them zoned out, clearly buzzed from booze, drugs, or just plain old tiredness. The blood slowly coursing throughout their veins just beneath the surface of their skin tempts me in ways I cannot describe. I force myself to look away, not for the drags of my own mortality, nor because I feel any grand respect for them. It's simpler than that. Too many eyes, too much risk. My crew's unspoken credo. I get off at Coney Island, quickly heading back to the Wonder Wheel, scanning for Reynard's unmistakably flamboyant red overcoat he somehow manages to pull off. No, not such luck, but maybe he's back at our usual spot. Or perhaps he swung by while I was out and left one of our old wall signs. Instead, what greets me is an unsettling number of shady figures prowling around, 3 to be exact, all on edge, looking like they are on some sort of patrol. If they're kindred, they're probably a Camarilla, considering this is their territory. It's not that I have an issue with them, okay, I do, but let's not get into that right now. I'm just not up for socializing. One kindred run per night is already pushing my limits. Okay, so Cloak of Shadows, let's hide in plain sight. Sounds of death, they won't hear me walking away. Let's try this. One small gesture of my hand and everything around me falls into silence. My footsteps are as quiet as snow landing gently on the ground. No swish to my clothes, no jingle to my jewelry. I figuratively hold my breath and go. The figures vanish into the night as I loop around, hastily making my way toward the wonder wheel. Reynard isn't there to greet me, and a quick look around yields no wolf signs either. I turn on my heel, disappointed, and lock eyes with one of the prowlers I so skillfully dodged. Their gaze is steady, piercing downright eerie. With no option left, I put on my best con-woman face and give them a nonchalant nod before walking away with all the confidence I can muster. Big mistake. It turns out the prowler launches forward, chasing after me as I break into a run. I've been to this amusement park many times before, so I know it looked like the back of my hand. I duck and weave through the rides and boats, shaking off my pursuer with ease. I have to leave Coney Island, maybe even New York, just as the angel warned. The city is becoming a no-go zone for Kindred, or at least for me. I'm almost at the entrance to the subway when I notice her. Actually, scratch that, it's my skin that reacts first, every hair standing on it as if electrocuted. An alarm blares in my head, screaming danger. Only then do I see her stepping smoothly out of the shadows, gait relaxed and yet somehow predatory. Enjoy the ride, sugar? I have no idea who she is, and I'm normally spot on at identifying those who prefer me finally dead. Is handy in my line of business. Sorry, we are closed for the night. Guess Yelp forgot to mention they don't serve the night owl crowd here. She doesn't even blink at my quip and just keeps inching closer. I feel an urge to step back, but a quick side eye informs me that the prowlers have returned and are standing right behind me. I'm afraid you're gonna have to come with me. Don't tell me what to do. What's your deal? You part of the fan police? Her smile stretches wider, but it is devoid for any real humor or warmth. She's only steps away now and effectively trapped. I'm Valerie Duval, the scourge of New York, sent by the consulate to bring you in. Why would the consul care about me? I'm just passing through. You know, it's fascinating how certain activities don't go unnoticed around here. Sometimes even passing through can be quite revealing. The council has shown a keen interest with you and your endeavors. Considering your unusual background, I assumed you would be aware that some things tend to leave a trace. Shit, how did they? We double-checked everything. But honestly, even our last gig shouldn't be such a big deal for the tower. Now you can either accompany me without the fuss, or, well, let's just leave it all the first option. It's decidedly in your best interest. She gestures to one of the prowlers behind me, a henchman, I guess, who brandishes a hefty, sharpened stake. My throat tightens involuntarily. What the heck does the council want with me? Our crew's business isn't all that against their precious traditions, is it? I'm not without reason, darling. Your move. She's annoying. Is this like a contest for you, using as many hackneyed nicknames as possible in a single conversation? The tip of the stake jabs painfully against my back, right where my heart would be by beating madly if it wasn't all shriveled up. Last chance, baby. Alright, Jesus. I'll go with you. Valerie tosses me a so-called smile, the sort that could turn the sun into ice. Good girl, now come, the consul is waiting. Whoa, judgment at the Elysium. Now I'm being slammed with some bullshit accusation and hauled to Elysium for interrogation. What the... There's no way I'm playing alone. Well, maybe I am. I'm seen as I'm about to go fang to fang with New York's ivory tower. So this is their point, the art hall. Seriously, could they have a more pretentious spot. Every tower and splinter has wedged itself right in the middle of New York City's swankiest row. Welcome to the still heart of Camarilla's intricate machinations. Here's where the local kindred clink their glasses, all the while plotting each other's demise. Unless, of course, you are pariah like me, an outcast from a wrong clan with an echo for stirring up trouble, in which case you screwed up from the get-go. Honestly, I prefer not knowing how posh it is. Places like this don't exactly roll out the red carpet for someone who deals with my kind of stuff. But since I've got no immediate escape plans, might as well play alone. I'd happily gotta admit, it seems pretty low key on the outside, not counting the two chucking goons who clearly missed the memo on blending with the crowd. And on that note, alright, Valerie, is there a jiggle-worthy revelation you'd come to share with me, Birdie? Your demeanor hints a job well done, does it not? The awkward freeze frame those two was stuck in mine would be a comedy gold if I wasn't knee deep in my own mess. Wow, Hunt, yeah, Miss Duval, sir, I mean, not really anything too wild, just like the usual stuff we are seeing, I guess. Does this usual stuff include two dubious characters within a mile of reach of Elysium, groups for which you were specifically instructed to watch out? 3 of them to be exact, if my count holds true. 3 groups of what? Honestly, I didn't spot a thing. Then again, maybe I'm just not clued in on what looked out for. Wait, I've seen that before. Still, as she describes them, my mind races back to my unsuccessful meetup with Reynard and that weird run near our stash. Those dubious characters, could they be what D'Angelo was hinting at? Maybe they are the clue to the baffling disappearance of my sire. Might as well drop a subtle hint without going full disclosure. Maybe I'll reel in some info while still playing the part. You're talking about a concealed carry enthusiast snooping around like Trouble's their middle name. Ran into a similar crew down by near Washington Cemetery. Is there something more to them than being overly fond of their Second Amendment rights? I appreciate the input, but that shouldn't top your list of worries at the moment, sugar. So much for intel fishing. I mean, I apologize. Really should have. Yes, you really should have. Boy, that shot through him like an icy bullet. I wasn't exactly cozy myself, but that poor assault probably just shed the last ounce of warmth left in him. Return to your duties at once. I'll be expecting a detailed report within the next hour. Yes, Miss Duval, sir. He waddles off like a scalded kid, and his pal refuses to meet our eyes. I throw Valerie a look of unwilling respect. She obviously holds some serious clout in these parts. Come now, dragging your feet earns you no favors, and believe me, you could use a few. Is that an offer, Miss Duval? Her smile serves as enough of a silent veto to make it clear that prying any further is futile, not exactly a good sign. She swings the door open, but there's no warm invitation in the gesture. Man. Logbook characters. So here are the nights. New Year's Eve, first night, second night. Characters. Gianni D'Angelo, paranoid gumshoe, self-proclaimed detective extraordinary with a penchant for noir drama and neck for getting tangled in conspiracies and more than a few unresolved issues. While he considers himself an autarchist, he has no qualms about aligning with either of the New York City sects when it's... Alright. Hound, Camarilla's footstool, Cali, dark web dealer, Valerie Duval, Scourge of New York City. The figure of Valerie Duval inspires fear throughout New York City. She executes her duties with ruthless efficiency under the sheriff's orders, at times independently when she targets the thin blood population. As a model member of the clan Venture, she combines grace and beauty with cunning and relentless, patiently awaiting the perfect moment to strike without mercy. Alright. Disciplines. Alright, so Elysium. The place doesn't quite live up to the posh art gallery image in my mind. Sure, there's a hint of what could be Masquerade on the walls, but most of the art is either showed aside or covered up. My instincts shift into overdrive. First up, a quick room survey. Take a good look around. I might try to focus on something else, but the real show stealer is the stupidity massive table, littered with papers and a map of the 5 boroughs, spoiled with enigmatic markets and chess pieces, two particular areas and heavy with pens, though their meaning is lost on me from this distance. Vintage trunks are strewn about without a second thought, but what really grabs the eye is a lineup of wickedly curved swords, sending a faint memory of shiver up my spine. Taking it all in, this place screams less art gallery and more war room. Step 2 practically unfolds on its own. The room's a powder keg on kindred in the middle of an intense debate. The tension is palpable, suspicion dialed up to 11. That's when their voices finally break through the walls of my focus. Would have been such an issue if we had taken action when the signs were so glaringly obvious. That long-haired hunk must be Qadir al-Smaya, the Camarilla sheriff. I've heard my fill of stories about him, but now I can put a face to their reputation. If only the rest of us were blessed with your profound gift of foresight, Sheriff, our life would be a walk in the park. Allow me to emphasize our risks are limited in a single front. Acting on a gut feeling might work wonders in motion pictures. Here in the real world is a different story. This one mystery to me, but the way he's navigating the conversation is clearly a heavyweight in these parts. Spare me the pretense of ignorance, Arturo. The pattern was unmistakable well over a month ago now. Arturo? Thomas Arturo? Shit. Reynard explicitly told me to steer clear of this guy mess. The bickering rages on, and Valerie doesn't seem eager to reveal her catch, aka yours truly. A playful decision to allow the faint bloods to appoint Larson as their Primogen raises his final depth to a level that can be casually swept under the rug. Helene, thin-blooded or not, it throws into question our grip on the situation. That gutted out Ellen McBeal, definitely. Aislinn Starbridge, the Tremere regent. I've been curious if Reynard's separation extends into the local chantry. But he was, as always, tight-lipped about his private affairs. What would you have me to do then? Unleash our dear sheriff without adequate reconnaissance, just in the name of haste? We can't overlook his excessive efficiency in the last skirmish, can we? Doesn't the prospect of a masquerade wish give you a pause? Behold the queen, be yourself, Helen Painheart, the reigning prince of sticks up the ass. I figure we all fond of keeping things the way they are, but there's no times to just sit back and think. And then there's times when you gotta step up and do something bold. This feels like it's time to make a move. Thomas Arthur, an Anarch champion in chaos, a revelation that somehow fails to astonish or esteemed Baron of the Bronx. An Anarch Baron inside Elysium? Now that's a pilot twist. What's the deal here? As I continue to look around, another figure catches my eye, a young-looking woman, entirely decked out in black, casually playing with a cigarette. She shoots me a brief glance, clearly picking up on my curiosity. That ancient fart in a wheelchair, whispering to his servant, "Who's that?" Right as he's about to chime in, some lanky guy I totally missed till now decides to butt in. My apologies for interrupting Mr. Payne, but it appears Miss Duval has brought forth the issue you mentioned earlier. It might be wise to ensure she is not exposed to unnecessary information. How did I overlook this guy? He's all limbs and quirks, playing with some odd drink on his finger. He sticks out in this upscale bunch like a sore thumb. Is my mojo on vacation or what? Yeah, very devout. Yes, thank you for that shrewd observation, Katie. She hurls those words like she's spitting venom. Whatever the opposite of sympathy is, she's brimming with it. Wait, caitiff? Esteemed consul, I give you the troublesome ravenous neonate. I gather you all desire a swift resolution to this matter. Her disruptions have been minimal thus far. Let us hope the trend continues. As if on cue, every eye shifts to me. I'm not one to buckle under stage fright, but this silent ostracism is on a whole new level. In this room, I'm on my own. I understand the formal necessity of addressing all this as well as my role in the matter. However, there are more pressing concerns demanding attention, far more pressing. Shall we discard old traditions too, while we are at it? We've pirouetted around the Hudson problem for more than a year, yet progress remains as stale as our debate. Certainly a few additional moments to honor the very laws you spearhead so vigorously couldn't hurt, could they? The Hudson is a completely different beast, as you're well aware. We need to address the locust swarm engulfing New York before Camarilla's entire framework crumbles beneath its weight. And how does that sit with you, Payne? Just last night, 2 Darksborn and a fledgling from your clan were reduced to ashes, and we are still in the dark about who's pulling the strings. Shouldn't that worry you more than policing the purity of the red market? The old guy's servant steps forward, all awkward and rigid. In principle, I agree, Sheriff. However, should we continue to disregard even minor infractions, we broadcast a message of vulnerability. Vulnerability threatens our efforts within and beyond our borders, efforts we plan to carry on without interruption once the locust swarm, as you've termed it, is eradicated. I can't believe I'm saying it, but I'm inclined to agree with Gramps on this one. We can't simply let something like that slip through the cracks without taking proper measures. So you assumed the role of his advocate now? Quite the bold ass nap, the letter of your own making, Julia? What's next on the horizon? Another hostile? Enough already. An awkward silence falls over the room, but it seems more about customs than actual respect. Guess we're all just creatures of habit, undead or alive. The sheer theatrics of the situation give me a moment to sneak a giant set. The old fart? Nodding off in his wheelchair, the coffin dodger looks like he's miles away from forming any independent thought, much less speaking them. Yet somehow he signals his wishes to his aide, who flawlessly translates them to the crowd. Am I the only one calling bullshit here? I might be reading too much into it, but I wouldn't trust that aide to pass me a napkin, let alone act as my voice. When the prince finally manages to speak, her voice lacks the confidence you'd anticipate from someone at the helm. We're all here for the same reason. You are Aisling, or am I mistaken and you forget where your loyalties lie? Even now, as she turns to me, her presence is way down. Not that I care, but my head's on the chopping block, and she's the one calling the shots. Well, wherever it stays, Puyo rolls off. Now let's put this issue to the rest here now. Strive for brevity, Sheriff. Understood. The weight of his glaze is enough for me to lower my shoulders. Whatever comes, it's not gonna be pretty. Cali of Clan Reveners, you stand accused of violating the numerous Camarilla's praxis, intriguing of the tradition of hospitality, and daring the masquerade among our things. Well, shit. Wait, on what grounds? Drop the act. There's a wealth of evidence in that recreational vehicle of yours, most of it confirming the suspicions we have been harboring over the recent months. Pretty theft from our subjects, impersonation of our kindred, lineage forgery. Need I go on? Okay, guilty, but when did they start caring? It's not like I'm the only one dipping my toes into the ocean of misdemeanors? At least I don't know about our artifact gig. But your involvement in large-scale blood and mortal trafficking outside our scrutiny and the jurisdiction of the circulatory system is as obvious as it is dangerous to the stability of our domain. Large scale, my ass. We hardly move anything through New York, definitely not enough to impact their operations. Plus, we are super careful, especially with your client often being in direct hostility to our interests, as Primogen Payne was kind enough to confirm. Seriously, this can't be right. We always check out our clients well. Reynard does, but is this some twisted way to set an example? How they playing the undead IRS? What is their game, really? While some might chalk this up to colossal stupidity, I'm never so forgiving nor tolerant of fraudsters who respect nothing but their own gain. I'm not blind to the fact that Reynard's completely MIA in this whole story. He's the big cheese, the head honcho of the entire affair, though calling it an affair might be giving it too much credit. So why are they making it out like I'm the mastermind behind some global crime syndicate? This is not the time to be quiet, Raven. You know what? Just don't care about them. I'm not going down without a fight. Oh, not my RV, obviously. This is total crap. I don't even own that RV. I snagged it on a rental from this Anarch guy in the Bronx. Oh, you did, huh? What are the odds, right? See, why won't you grill your barren friend over here there? Out of nowhere, something pierces in my mind, shredding its defenses to dust. It's like my head's being turned inside out, exposing my every thought for their amusement. I whip my head toward the source of this eerie sensation, and boom, there's Kadir, the freaking sheriff with those piercing eyes, slicing through my layers of BS like it's cake. I earnestly hope you are not taking me for a fool. That would be a misstep of monumental proportions, unlike anything these walls have witnessed. I get a glimpse of Aisling out of the corner of my eye, sadly mouthing words that look suspiciously like I beg to differ. Right then, I curve the sword that appears in Kadir's hand. As far he just pulled it straight from thin air. Maybe I'm just going nuts. Honestly, I'd be totally shitting my pants right now if that part of me wasn't offline. I'm not here for your games, little Raven. Choose your next words carefully. I'd argue this utter lunacy clears her of charges. She couldn't even cobble together a free-built story, much less orchestrate clandestine trading of this magnitude. And Yarn's opinion is supposed to be your clan's fort, isn't it? Last chance, my dear. Is there anything of substance you wish to add? Holy moly, this can't really be happening, right? What's my move? What would Reynard do? Reynard, if he had the decency to pop up, or at least toss me a fucking heads up, I wouldn't be knee deep in this disaster. Is he really in trouble, or what if he bailed on me? Got a hint the Camarilla was breathing down his neck and decided I'm the perfect scapegoat god? Nah, that doesn't sound like him. But why target me and not Reynard? Sure, he's gone now, but could they really be clueless about him? I'm totally lost, but I do know what he would probably do. His move would be to look out for number one. Spill the beans more than necessary to buy some time. Time is gold, and with enough of it, maybe there's a chance to wiggle out of this mess. It's all or nothing now. Hit the jackpot or end up porcupined with stakes. Guess there's not much point in playing dumb, huh? Couldn't agree more. Game on. Alright then. So I indeed am tangled up in this little blood trafficking operation, playing a pretty crucial part, if I do say it to myself. But I guess not everyone's on board with that assessment. I do the logistics, pushing merchandise through a series of dark web channels. Every eyebrow in the room goes up except for the cigarette aficionado in the back, who lets out a slight smirk. I mean, a little controlled drama never hurts in a short con. All totally secure and anonymous. no sleeps about, you know. I think everything masked by the hassle of more mundane black markets. No way we are blowing the masquerade. We deal in stored blood, as you might have caught on. Not just any blood, though. Our merch is a little jazzed up. Uh, Thaumaturgically enhanced to be exact. It's the only way they'd work, as you're well aware. I am, but that's not for you to find out. Oh, right, of course. Oh, and well, we also deal in, let's just call them family treasures, but honestly, that's more like a side gig than anything serious. But we're extremely careful about picking our clients and really thorough when it comes to making deals, you know, the traditions and all. I was sure we'd never even come close to breaking them. At least that's what he led me to believe. I had a bunch there were some dodgy dealings in his more secret ventures. To deny that would be a flat out lie. But let's be real, I'm way outside the inner circle to have a real sway in those parts of his enterprise. For a brief moment an easy silence sweeps over the room. His enterprise? Is it a joke? Exactly, who is this he you referring to? I give it my all to appear as blameless as possible. I presumed you knew it was my Cyrus who was masterminding it all. The room's heavy silence is soon filled with hushed whispers. For a revelation. Good. If fortune is on my side, I might just leave to see another moonrise. Indeed, how fortuitous and you, sir, would be. There's only one other notable rogue in the city who comes to mind. Someone dipping in and out, known for the shifty nature of which I was somewhat aware. Reynard Castle. You nailed it, Chief. I mean, sir. Another brief moment of silence gets interrupted by the girl in black who addressed the sheriff. I can practically hear the cogs turning in your head, Kadir. What's your take on it? Truth be told, it does it up. Thought I had him pegged more as a con artist and a trafficker. Then why has he been apprehended yet, Sheriff? Are you secretly endorsing activities that impeded the circulatory system operations? For your own good, Payne, I'll pretend I didn't catch that. Or would you care to question my dedication to our cause again? Be warned, my patience wears extremely thin these nights. Can we put this blinkering on hold, at least for a moment? An opportunity staring me in the face. How could I resist squeezing myself right into it? One more thing, Reynard and I had a meeting lined up with the client a few hours back, but he never showed up. In the whole year and half I've been in this gig, he's never just vanished like this. What do you make of it? Now, with floodgates of truth wide open, it's time to drive into the art of flying myself. To be honest, I'm not sure, but now that I think of it, he's changed over the past month, become a lot more erratic than usual. Ready for my theory? I'm pretty sure he caught wind of your lot and decided to feed me to the flames while he made a run for it. Whether they're swallowing my story or they're just tired of my presence, it feels like I'm not nudging things the way I want them. Not everyone's convinced though. An unwitting pawn betrayed by her master, a likely story, suitable for the stage indeed, but in this context, if I may, damn it, Padraic, don't get yourself into. Baron's warning arrives a bit too late. Instantly the others shift their focus, fixing their eyes on the caitiff with unmistakable hostility. It's clear they are not exactly fond of him. Since you already disrupted the proceedings, you might as well say your peace, mediator. Very well then, I'm inclined to believe her, at least in aspects more significant to the interests of our allies. Thanks, you mysterious weirdo. As ever, your assertion remains devoid of substance. My guy's advice is pretty much always on point. His track record speaks for itself. The sheriff has a point that seems to hold water. Your Sarah might just be the one at fault. She's essentially a non-entity, is she not? Nobody that slipped under the radar until, by a stroke of sheer bad luck, she got caught red-handed. Do you excuse the pun? When you give it another look, the evidence you have collected should indeed back up the claim quite convincingly. And what grounds your intricate evaluation precisely? My judgment is shaped by your vast experience and simply tempered by reasoning and intuition. It changes little regarding the consequences she must face to her complicity in her sire's crimes. It's do or die. How about I serve you Reynard's head on a silver platter in exchange for mine, unscathed on my shoulders? Kadir's stare pins me under silent disapproval, but he lets me, as a curly-haired asshole putting spin on my yarn. I know all his secret spots in this town, plus the spots he wouldn't touch with a 10-foot pole. I'm wired in his network, his contacts. I've got his playbook down, and I can stay one step ahead of him with ease. Just give me a chance, and we'll be thanking our lucky stars by the end. They slip into a quiet introspection, or maybe they're just playing around or mental chess, trying to reach each other's minds without uttering a word. I have reservation about this daring proposition. Consider the potential fallout if this entire station spirals out of control. Kadir throws up his hand, clearly over dealing with my case. Capturing this whelp proved hardly a challenge. I wouldn't sweat the idea of catching her again. What's more interesting with the castle resolves two issues at once. It swiftly eliminates her presence and enables us to prioritize genuine concerns. But someone has to keep a constant watch over her. Very perhaps one of yours. A batshit crazy idea bursts into my mind, the kind of gamble that could either turn out brilliantly or spectacularly implode. Let the dice roll. How about him? I jab my finger toward the quiet caitiff. Padraic, was it? Padraic. His expression shifts to one of utter confusion as he catches the subtle smirks of the council members. Surely you're not considering this could play out quite favorably, I must admit. Quite favorably indeed. Holy shit, it actually worked. Very well, Padraic Convoy. I hereby appoint you as agent caretaker for this ravenous neonate. I had to break it to you, Sheriff, but this call is out of your turf. He's with us, Anarchs, and you know it well enough. Technically, when he took on a whole peacemaker role for our cliques, he acquired a level of neutrality, so yeah. Kadir redirects his gaze to the caitiff. Your responsibility is to ensure she fulfills the assignment within 4 nights, starting now. Any slip-ups on her end will reflect on your record as well. Do we have an understanding? 4 nights, not a whole lot, but better than nothing. Padraic's resigned nod mirrors exactly how I felt. Now, back to where we were. The sudden disinterest in me is clear. Get out of here signal. Seems like I've managed to slide from one pit to another. But hey, I bought myself a little time, and in my world that's precious currency. Unless of course that caitiff turns out to be a wild card. Oh, that's the end. Still the first night up in the air. Main quest, I bought myself some time to find Reynard and scram out the city before the Camarilla catches on. The only trouble is caitiff clinging on to my back, which honestly is kind of my own fault. I need to figure out how to shake him off. Whoa, Queens. Still first night. We might not need air to nourish our vitae, but I still let out a sign of relief when the doors to Elysium slammed shut behind us. Talk about a crew of entitled assholes holed up in their ivory tower, sneering at kindred just scraping by to make dead ends meet. I hope they get a nice sharp stake to the foot. But hey, it's all good. My golden words and silver tongue managed to buy me some time to find Reynard and get the hell out of Dodge before those clowns catch on that where they've hit the west coast. The only hiccup for now is keep making that face at me and it might just stick it that way. Oh yeah? I pinched my lips together and squinted for a good measure. What are we reverting to playground tactics now? Hush, I'm concentrating on blowing up your brain with my mind. If it keeps you quiet, by all means keep trying. I shoot him a defiant glare and wheel around. He's exasperated, sick, chasing after me. Be what may, this K-leaf tick's gotta go. Look, the sun is about to rise. We can pick up this little dance of ours again tomorrow night, okay? Let's get moving. My heaven isn't even this part of town. Hold up, what do you mean your heaven? Alright, hear me out. I get that this whole thing is a bit of pain for the both of us. Trust me, I have no more desire to mind you than you have to be minded. But let's rewind for a second. You were the one who picked me out of Elysium and got us both into this mess. If I let you out of my sight, things will get proper unpleasant for me. And believe me, I'm speaking from my experience. But you will be torn to shreds by Kudir's hounds. Before you could say, oops, they'll sniff you out sooner rather than later. That is a stone cold fact. So how about we skip the theatrics and you tag along to a place I know is safe. We can regroup and figure out our next move. Come nightfall. He stopped mid-sentence, fingers crossed for whatever is a kindred version of a stroke. Maybe I could slip away and get to my RV. No, your RV is completely off the table. My RV is just fine. Very took your sweet time turning it inside out, plus the spot you chose for parking isn't exactly the epitome of safety, putting it mildly. It's a fortress on wheels, steel shutters and everything. It's kept me from turning to ash so far, hasn't it? Why does its parking spot suddenly matter? Believe me, these nights, location is everything. He stays silent for a moment, likely thinking he's gained the upper hand in our verbal spar. I still count it as my win. Nevertheless, he starts yapping again soon after. In any case, we need a place to rest, and my heaven is the safest choice. I'd really hate to resort to violence, but don't presume I won't drag you there in the need arises. It's your call. Every time I don't get say, it somehow turns out to be my call. Come on, what do you think I'll do? Run away? Obviously. Oh yeah, little faith. What would I try to bail on you on Christmas night? You sticking around might just count as a true holiday miracle. And no, I don't bank on holiday miracles. If you're under the impression I'll let you out of my sight, then you are not paying attention. Come, let's not dilly-dally. Dilly-dally? Did they embrace him in Dickens' novel? Talk about being charming? Alright, after you. Stubborn as I am, it turns out Mr. Finn and me over there is just as immovable. Arguing seems futile, time for a different approach. I toss him a thoughtful glance, noticing him leisurely fiddling with one of those ugly rings, adorning every conceivable part of his hands. What a jerk. My gang will eat him alive, but I can deal with him on my own just fine. All I need is a little bit of inspiration. After a quick look around, a couple of schemes start to take shape. How about a magic trick? Lifting his ring might be a bit ambitious when he's so wired, but I've got other tricks up my sleeve. I fish out a ring from my belt bag, a trinket I nicked off some sucker back in Chicago. It's a piece of junk, really. No pawn shop would glance twice at it, but you never know when a useless thing might come in handy. I clear my throat awkwardly and evoke an appropriately embarrassed face. So, what I'm trying to say, I'm sorry for getting snappy earlier. Rough night, you get it? Well, an apology is quite enough, but it is a start. Yeah, we got off the wrong foot, huh? Let's start again. Name's Callie. With that, I extend my hand. It hovers in a frigid air, waiting for his response. After a brief pause, he reaches out and shakes it. Padraic Conroy. I take this as my cue, clasping his hand warmly with both of mine, shaking with all the vigor I can muster. Nice to meet you, Padraic. Fancy seeing magic trick? I beg your pardon? I flash him the ring with a nasty smile, watching as his face turns a shade paler. Before he has a chance to check his own fingers, I take a big swing. Want your precious ring back? Then fetch. I hurl the ring in the distance, listen as it clinks off the wall. As the caitiff dashes off, I seize the moment and zoom away in the opposite direction, pushing my legs as fast as they'll go. I have no idea where I'm going, but solitude sounds perfect right now. Even after everything tonight, it looks like I'm on a roll. It must be that ravenous charm working its magic. I instantly regret my choice the moment I dash into an alleyway. A dodgy crew handling crates that seems to be filled with combat gear snaps their attention toward me. The moment I make my entrance, they've seen many inhuman speed. Shit. Kelly, look. Oh, come on, what did I ever do to you, lady luck, to chase me like that? Squad to your position. They begin to circle me, exchanging nods. It's only then I notice their tactical gear and the unmistakable outline of wooden stakes. In this infamous special affairs, division? Seriously. Winner was spot on. I'm always too quick to pop the champagne. Back off, would you? This is going to end well for you. Shut your filthy gob, leech. He whips out of stake to compensate for his shaky tone. I'm not one for head-on combat, but it's way past the time for cutting from the sides. Now, they come at me all at once. Attack surprisingly and coordinated for such a well-equipped team. The disarray is the only reason I may survive this. As a flash of heat surges through me, their movements seem to slow down. I grab the first one by the arm, and he swings a knife at me, driving my nails into his armpit. Everything turns a shade of red. I found disturbingly pleasant. Next I leap and spin, taking the squeaky girl down with a kick that leaves her neck at a grotesque angle, her body crumbling to the ground. Their leader waves his stake in hesitation, searching for an opening. Bring it on, you on that whore. I don't give him a chance. Instantly, I'm at his throat, chewing and ripping. His blood washes over my skin like a hot shower. It feels comforting. As I kill his face, there I am, perfectly unharmed, aiming to the carnage, swept up in the rush of victory. Tonight is definitely my night. But then reality strikes, quite literally. Knocked onto my knees and suddenly dazed, I scramble to get up. I need to get out before the caitiff catches up. As I try to rise, a kick sends me sprawling. Another fuck. One that I missed sits on my top of me, stake in hand, aimed straight at my heart. I react instantly, bucking my hips and reaching for his elbow, ready to tear and rip. But I can't. I don't have to. Suddenly, hands encircle the fuck's neck, twisting it in a complete circle, reminiscent of some horror movie. He drops beside me, lifeless, as the caitiff casually retrieves the stake. You've lost something. Piss off. I believe thank you is a fair phrase you are looking for. You should be glad I fetched the ring in record time. He extended his head with grace, and there's a part of me itching to grab it, to pull it and literally take him down the back. But I let the moment pass. The sprawls wore me out, dawn's creeping up on us. I refuse his help, pushing myself up with a mix of pride and fatigue. Why don't you hold on to the stake? Consider it a memento of the time you nearly got taken out by a few hunters and needed my intervention. A slice of humble pie, if you will. I tuck the stake into my belt bag, feeling more awkward about it than I care to show. For the record, I had it under control, but wait, hunters? Of course, you didn't seriously think it was the sad, did you? He lets out a chuckle, the first one I've heard from him. It feels out of place, I think. Do not take it personally, but if I were the SAD you were up against, you'd have been taken out before you even realized there was a threat. They are too well organized, too professional. These guys, however, he swept his hand around, gesturing towards the fallen hunters. Well, they haven't quite mastered the element of surprise. Still running into that many in one place. I know Kadir mentioned something about the locust swarm back at Elysium, but shit, that's more than just bad luck. In Indeed, New York is nowhere near as safe for a kind as it once was. This is not your typical hunter behavior. It's an anomaly, and its source is still unknown. Until we figure it out, I strongly advise against sprinting like a demented cheetah, biting whatever is within arm's reach, or showing off your unique powers. For your own safety, I assume you are under constant surveillance. Choose your moments wisely. It's the second time I'm hearing this kind of warning tonight. Maybe I should actually start paying attention, and you might want to rethink your attempts to ditch me. I might not arrive in time to save you next time you get in trouble. The next time, he seems to have me all figured out. Alright, maybe sticking with you might have some benefits. Am I hearing things? Or was that a compliment? Don't let it go to your head, and don't expect it to repeat. Now about that heaven of yours. I awake, Katie flies low. The sun is about to rise, and I've had more than enough for one night. All I need is to sink into the deep, dark void of rest, and tonight, Padraic's heaven is a place to be. Stranger in the night. That's due to a New York City you never know when you bump into the king of all douchebags. I know, let's go. The walk feels endlessly long. I try to focus on the task of locating Reynard, but my thought just won't line up right. Definitely not a promising end of the night. End to the night. Before I know it, we're already there. This is our stop. Let's head inside. Dawn is nearly upon us. He stepped through the door first, but leaves it open for me. I see it as a silent, slight sign of trust, and maybe I'm just too exhausted to be on the lookout for tricks. Home, sweet home. Oh, that's nice. And nice music. Peeking into Kindred's heaven is kind of like trying to read their diary, assuming they have one, of course. Our van, which I share with my crew, might tell a story of covert operations, daring escapes, and tight-knit camaraderie for those with a flair for drama, that is. To anyone else, it could just seem like a mobile hideout for a few smugglers. Granted, I haven't exactly been a guest in many heavens, but this one is practically shouting its love affair with books and certain, let's say, relaxed approach to tidiness. And that Padraic probably didn't expect to have company like ever. Every inch of it is covered in books, papers, and random notes, a wild mosaic of ideas from the mundane to the outright unhinged. I swear there are even scribbles on napkins in the mix. Padraic seems a little bit flustered that I caught his heaven in such disarray. He rushes to clean up, picking up an armful of paper along the way. Make yourself at home. The couch is all yours. At least the windows are still open, have been secured with steel shutters. All in all, the place feels rather cozy, a pretty decent heaven. I think just a tad too lonely for my tastes. Let's look at the window. The view from his window overlooking the Bronx at this hour is just mesmerizing. No wonder he gets all starry-eyed. I mean, sure, the Yankee Stadium sticks out like a sore thumb, but even that can ruin the serene vibe of the place. The stack of papers he clutched is kept under wraps and impossible to read, but the ones littering the rest of the place are up for grabs. I stretch my neck to get a closer look, dishing any attempt to be sneaky, only to find some disjointed snippets about history, voices, oracles, and the like. I shoot him a disappointed frown, only to be met with his painfully blank gaze. Clearly someone's got their pocket face down pat. A history buff, don't take this the wrong way, but it totally gives you off that vibe. Why would I take it the wrong way? I give a casual shrug, and he offers a smile in return. It's not exactly bringing me joy, but hey, I'll take what I can get. Get some rest, we've got a busy night ahead of us. It's hard to put a fight against common sense, especially when you're running on empty. I give him a vague wave, settle onto the couch amid a few stray papers, and let myself sink into the deep, dark void of rest. Only a few hours prior. Tremere laboratory. Intermission. It's the first night. Just intermission between the stages. The steady drone of machinery blends with the aroma of an ancient dust and robust alchemy conjuring a palpable atmosphere that teases the senses. It's a relentless reminder of the raw power in action, a sensation that never leaves you, no matter how far away you go. Is it a common theme across Tremere labs, or did she add a personal twist just for my sake? But that's beside the point tonight. Tonight the stakes are sky high, no room for getting sidetracked. I'm only going to ask this once. You do understand all the specifics, correct? The procedure and the risks that come with it? My gaze drifts down to my necklace, the symbol of my cause. I know the silent agreement. Make no mistake, should you attempt to violate our arrangement, I have my methods to track you down. Believe me, that will be far less pleasant than what's coming next. Let's just get this over with, shall we? I'm instantly hit with pain so intense it feels like my flesh is being torn asunder. And no matter how much I try, I can't black out for even the briefest moment of blissful reprieve. My consciousness clings on, as stubborn as I am, as if making me pay for my plentiful sins, or paving the road for the new ones to come. But the agony is worth it, and so is the price that's coming after. Alright, end of the night. Do you wish to end the night? Yes. Night 2. December 2024, 6 nights till New Year. So, I'm gonna play the second night right after that. And that was the first night. I have to complete the game anyway, I think. Well, anyway, that was the first night. Take care of yourself.